here at the First Presbyterian Church in Natchez. Um, you see that they've got a gallery here that starts down here right where you come in the side door. You got a sign-in book here, and the gallery starts right here at the stairwell. As we go up, and um, Chas is just going to work with me on um, if there's something that we want to stop on, we will. Otherwise, we're just going to kind of move through the photographs. It's a great cross section of history of this beautiful city, and we recommend that you come and see it for yourself, because this is not going to really do it justice, I'm afraid. Has anybody joined in with us yet? Just speak out and let me know if somebody does, sweetheart. You see, there's a lot of thing that makes this great is that a lot of these are donated family photographs from over time, or from the newspaper, or they've just done a fantastic job of compiling these photographs. Here's a great shot of how the porches were and things like that from that time. You can see their water cistern right here on the side of the building. Here's a great shot of Natchez under the hill. At that time, now it's just on this side of the, but against the bluff, that's the only place that there's buildings. They had a really bad flood, and it washed all this out. All these houses and buildings and everything there, but that was a great place to come and take care of your vices and get your throat cut at one point in time. But it was also the docks and things like that that they had there. Here's the old depot and the tracks that run up right beside it down the middle of the street there. And you had Canal Street was right on the river. That's one street up from the river there. Let's see if I come in. Here's a picture of the flood that took out all that stuff out of from under the hill. They just never rebuilt any of that, and they used a lot of the debris from that to make a breakwater right there and keep it from continuing to erode and take everything out. And here's a baptism done the way they used to do it. Walk you down there to the water, and they put you under. I guess it would, how long they held you under determined on if they knew you or not. Huh? And one of the phenomena of the South was barbers. And the barber shops at that time were typically, all the barbers were black men. And their shops, as you can see right here, there's right here, over here, their shops were very elaborate, beautiful shops, and needed to be extremely prosperous men, simply because they stood there and they cut hair and they listened, they paid attention, and all the business deals were talked about right here in that barber shop. And when that barber heard where to invest his, where the bankers and the planners and other men like that were investing their money, he would invest his money there too. And so they
Cecilia Diaz.
Who?
Maria Cecilia Diaz. Welcome.
Welcome. We're right here we're touring the gallery in the Presbyterian Church here in Natchez, Mississippi, and we certainly hope that you enjoy this tour. It's a very special place because it's such a cross section of the history of the city portrayed in pictures. And we encourage you to stay with us, and we're going to do some more videos and posts from this beautiful little city, and it's a great place to come visit. So these photographs, they were compiled and they were by from newspapers and individuals in this throughout the city that had all these old photographs, and they took a lot of time to put all this together, and it's just fascinating if you're a student of history and you enjoy that. Um, the We're not going to just bog you down in detail in here because there's so much, but there's pictures of these beautiful grand old homes, the pictures of just the people living their lives like this, and they're just, here they are at a parade. Let's see, it's they they said the occasion was the visit of the USS Mississippi up the river there, and they everybody's out just excited and watching, And if you have any questions, just feel free to put anything up that you'd like, and I'll try to answer it if I can. Right here, this is a lot of the ladies of different time frames and the styles that they wore. At one time, there was a lot of wealth in this city. Most of the wealth on the planet was centered right along the Mississippi River between New Orleans and Memphis. And they flat out knew how to dress. Is our video coming in good for you? And can you hear us, Maria? You still with us? So let's move on to a different room. These are pictures in here of the children of the time and how they dressed, and just beautiful. It was just a different time, and these were children that came from wealthy families, and they it was an expensive thing for them to take the photographs, and so if a child had their picture taken, they were special and they were very well loved at the time. We move into here, and you can see the some examples of some of these homes here, that some are still here. Just the very beautiful, and I think this is Stanton Hall right here, and that bed is there, and it is something to behold in real life. But these people.
It says it's Stanton Hall.
It's fine. but these homes, the architecture was just gorgeous, and they furnishings in them. They would travel to Europe a lot of times and order the furnishings, and because these homes were made to. Um, these were the homes that they had that they entertained in and had all the balls and parties. Just as you can see, the architecture of them is just gorgeous. They're just absolutely beautiful. And this 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 home here, Homewood, you see the picture before and after the fire that destroyed it. It's no longer with us, but just beautiful. You know, I mean, those people enjoyed.
Lamont Cooper. Hello, sir. I'm from Orlando, Florida. If I may ask, where is this?
This is in Natchez, Mississippi. We are glad to have you, Lamont, and we're touring the photo gallery in the First Presbyterian Church down here. It's they donated. There's thousands of photographs in here on these walls of the um, history of the city, and some of these homes are still here, some are not. Um, it just gives you a good understanding of the lifestyle and everything that people lived under um, before and after the Civil War, after early part of the 20th century is how this takes you up through, and it's fascinating because history books can give you this much, but when you walk in here, you get to see this much of this, and because these photos are personal family photos and some from the newspapers and things. If you have any questions, I'd love for you to put them up, and I'll certainly try to answer anything that I can. Um, and just stay with us. We're hopefully we'll do this will be interesting to you. It's a great place to come visit this city, and we couldn't do anything of the other sites without seeing this. This lets you really understand, like, if you see how the people dressed, and they had a ton of, well, they were wealthy people. There was a lot of wealth from all kinds of commerce, but cotton was king back at that time, and the thing is um, you know the society was not quite as you would think it would be. It was a little bit different. Um, the Here's um, their ball teams and uh, their
Stanton
athletic
College.
clubs and things. Um, some of the balls that they would have, Mardi Gras King ball, um, and just different societal events that they had at the time, and all of that, um, all that dried up during the Great Depression. Um, a lot of the commerce left here, and as a matter of fact, the construction of the Huey P. Long Bridge down there at Baton Rouge denied Natchez and Vicksburg of any um, big ships coming here. So the wealth just moved south, and it went down to Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And that's why Natchez is still a modest sized um, little small city that thrives off of its tourism. And the but it's history is very rich, and you get to kind of see how Baton Rouge, how New Orleans was before, because their customs and cultures were not unlike Natchez, and Vicksburg was very much the same way as was Memphis. So it where it hurt them in financially in the way of economics, it really helped the world at large because it kind of stopped everything in one place. And there's still industry here and everything like that, but I'm just simply saying it preserved the things real well. Let's move in here. Just candid shots from around the city. Um, there's a high angle view, some high angle shots of old Natchez. Very interesting to see. You're walking around town now on the downtown and seeing all this is still there. And, you see these pictures. Um, if you can imagine them being colorized and feeling the humidity and, hearing um, the, the horses and the dust and all the smells and sounds. And welcome back, Nate. Oh, how are you today? Glad to have you back. We're here in the midst of our tour right now, and we're just kind of slow walking through. And you want to keep a flatter angle on that, I would think, sweetheart. But I was just saying that, when you see these photographs like this of,
He said very good.
huh?
They said very good, Nature Dog Rounds. The thumbs up, very good.
Oh, great. But you see like right here, the kids playing and the people just standing out during, whatever day it was. You can, if you imagine it all being in color and then feeling the humidity and hearing the horses and all that. And it's just, right here is a logging crew. And my grandfather logged in this area, and when he was a young man back in the 1930s, and they cut down some massive trees at that time. It was unreal, and wish we did have those forests back. That was something that he explained to me as a child, and it was something. They Let's walk over here into this next room here. Actually, yeah, we're good. We'll see everything. Right here, you see the river is in flood in 1892. It I had said earlier that down under the hill, there used to be buildings along each side of the street on the right and left, and now it's just on the bluff side away from the river because all that got washed away in a flood. Um, the We'll put the whole live up so y'all can see that, but it's just this is them building the levees and um, there was just a lot of handwork at that time. They had to do everything they could do because that river is powerful, and nothing's going to withstand it forever. But here's those thing that we're so famous for here in the South is these paddle wheel steamships, and you see how many there are docked up there, and that's what this room is. See, here's after the flood, when the waters receded, how it washed all these homes away, and all these buildings that used to be right there, they're no longer there. And uh, but the oh, here's an example of inside of one of those paddle wheel steamers. Inside the amenities that they had in them was they were beyond pale. They easy. And like I say, if you have any questions about anything, I may be able to answer you. I'll certainly try. But it was regular. I mean, there was dozens and dozens and dozens of these, paddle wheel steamships and then steamboats, and then they would have them. And somewhere in here, there is um, there's the dinner service. But it was just a great way to travel because the woods here and the terrain is so dense and so treacherous. If you had the dough to drop down on a ticket, you could travel north or south a lot easier and a lot quicker. But the thing is they had accidents from time to time because they would get to racing those boats on the river, and they would.
Nature Dog Round said the flooding.
The is about the time frame. The you had another one. If you remember, there was a Led Zeppelin song that they redid, an old blues song. When the levee breaks. That was up around Greenwood. The levee breached up there. That was back around that time too. And that was a big deal. I mean, it changed everything along the Mississippi River. They had to come in, and you see they had to. This is under the hill, and all of that used to be their docks and all this stuff. And when the floods came in, it just took it. And so now they just got a lot of that debris. Matter of fact, is still there. They just kind of piled it up in there and shored everything up to keep the river from eroding it anymore. And you just have the buildings on this side now that are. And I was using my hands to show stuff, but you have the buildings along the left side that are still there. But it is interesting. I mean, the logging was huge, and that's one thing that we've got here. If we don't have anything else in South Mississippi, is we got trees. So they used a lot of the logs you see, made these mats, and then they would backfill dirt into them to make some kind of impermeable structure there to keep the river from washing it out. And I mean, the river's up today. We put up a couple of pictures of that, or we'll put up a couple of pictures of that, showing that it's, and farming and planting this is what made it all. You see the bales of cotton there, and like I say, if you could imagine this in color, and hearing the sounds, and look at how they've got the riverboat just loaded down to where it's just about to start taking water. They would load them, and that was a bunch of cotton leaving here, and that's what happens whenever you load one a bit much. They'll do that when you put too much on there, and that was another danger. But they here's a great model of one of the river boats, the M.W. White. Um, and the they did, I believe in here, there's, you'll get to see, there was, they would, these boats would get to racing, and they would, they would, their boilers would overpressure, and they would end up, the captains wouldn't back off, and they would end up blowing the boiler up, and that was bad. Uh, that was a bad day for everybody involved there. But let's move on here. Here's a um, okay, and here these are some candid shots from around the city. Um, that go a little bit slower on your panning, okay? All right, all right. Well, is she doing a good job on the camera?
Probably not.
Huh? I bet she is. I bet she is. She sure does look pretty doing it though. But these, the town, so much of this is still here and still in use for different reasons, shops or whatever. And the some of these things are,
Nature Dog Rounds says she's doing great. Thank you.
well, there you go. All right. And the so she's minding comments too. So like I say, if you, am I doing okay, or am I boring you to death? Is this too dry and boring, or is it good? But every year they, here's a photograph of the, where they have a pilgrimage, and that's something that they do every year. Um, that where they do a tour of all the homes, and people are in period dress and all of that. But you can tour those homes. Most of them are open um, every day. Uh, some of them are only open to the public during the pilgrimage. And
Nature Dog Round said this is good. I like to learn history of
well,
places.
outstanding, outstanding. Well, we certainly want you to come and visit Natchez, because it's a great town. We love coming over here. We live a little over an hour from Natchez, and it's a great time to come and spend a weekend. It really is. Or you could do a week out here if you wanted to. But we you get to see, just because of the wealth that was here whenever cotton was still huge, and you didn't have the Huey P. Long Bridge, and you could get the bigger boats up river. Um, the money that was here, you get to see, kind of like I say, frozen in time. You get to see the, architecture, a lot of the finer details that are expensive, where they made things beautiful just to be beautiful. And I miss that time. I don't like walking in new buildings that have no personality, and that's something that you get to see in this city, is everywhere you turn, um, you get to see the French style, or you get to see the old British style, or whatever. And some people, they just had great imaginations, and they designed their own homes. Longwood is a home that you must see. It is absolutely breathtaking how beautiful that home is. It's my favorite out here. There's the USS Mississippi right there. It came and visited on the river and ported, and they had a big parade, and everybody came out, and it was just a great old time, I reckon. But if you see what I'm saying here, the shots are great. Um, they really convey the emotion that the person taking the pictures intended. Um, just the, like I say, the details, and just just absolutely beautiful. And they just are. And New Orleans and Natchez are very much bonded and tied together as sister cities, and um, Vicksburg as well. And it between Memphis and New Orleans, if you could imagine the I mean it most of the millionaires of that time lived between Natchez and excuse me, Memphis, and right along the river. And Natchez was home to most of them, because these homes that are here, they were homes for entertaining, and this was the society gathering spot. It's just where it all happened, and it's just a great amassed amount of wealth that these people had. And it's breathtaking. I mean, because it's not like that now. Um, but let's move on in here to this gallery here, and this is just, like I say, just pictures throughout time. These photographs were donated from, they were, families donated
Fletcher
them.
Dog Rounds said cool.
It is cool. It really is. I think so. Now they're getting a little showy. They didn't mean to brag, but they did get them a brand spanking new fire engine there, so they had to show that off a little bit. And they, but I mean, you just see how beautiful all the detail was, and it was done just to be beautiful. And well, they were being showy, but nonetheless, it was. We just don't get to see that now. And when you see things like that fell into disrepair, to me, that the way they're dressed, that looks probably early 1900s. So that house had probably been sitting there vacant for um, 40, 50 years, and it's just, if you buy a house down here, you can get them at a great price if they're old. But the thing that you have to remember is they're historical registered homes. So you have to spend a bunch of money to get it back to original state. And there's people and I'm thankful that they did. There's people that have done so, and they gave a great gift to all of us by doing that. Um, and like I've said, a lot of these homes are still here, and you can walk through them, and they've tried to um, reacquire the original furnishings that were in the homes and paintings and things like that. And just seeing some of these things, it's just beautiful. Realizing that, you, like in Stanton Hall, they've got a table there that's made out of a walnut table, it's one plank is the top of that table, and what is it, like 20, 25 feet long? It's long.
Yeah.
And it's all handmade. Each chair was handmade, and they're all different. We're getting off course here.
No, we done went through everything here. You got to go back downstairs.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, all right. We've made it through the gallery. Let's go down and we'll look at the sanctuary in here, which is absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to try not to give you a little extra entertainment by rolling my old butt down these stairs, because I've seen me do it. We'll give you another look at, this is that flood that came in. This is all under the hill right here. And you had all these buildings and everything that kind of wound up by the bluffs. All of that got washed away during that flood. And it's not there now, but it was a happening, hopping little place at one time. And here's a great shot of under the hill. You're looking back up toward town, and that other picture's perspective was here to there. Now you're looking up the street there under the hill. All this is still there. Mark Twain, about right there, wrote Life on the Mississippi while he was staying in a little room right there. But all of this is gone now, but this is not. And it's there's restaurants and a bar and some shops there now. And but you can you get a, you know, it's this was a labor of love for them to come and put all of these pictures together, and it's a gift to us that they gave us, and I'm very grateful for that. Um, you know, photography was expensive back then, and you know, these we're just blessed to be able to see and the things that they did, their society, social life, and things like that. Now, right here, we're going to walk into the sanctuary, and I'll kind of hush, and I'll just let you look and take it in. It's truly beautiful.
It's been rearranged since we were here the last
It,
time.
it has, but the pipe organ is a hand built pipe organ. There's only a couple of those in Mississippi. I think the cathedral has one, but that um, you know, that's still very much in operation and function. Just the architecture is just beautiful in this, the stamped little panels on the ceiling. You don't really see that often anymore, and this is a huge contrast to the cathedral that's got the um, buttresses and the compound arches in the ceiling and all the hand painting and everything. But anyway, we just you want to do a quick walk out? Well, it's kind of windy outside. It probably would be a disaster.
Let them see the outside, and
Huh?
just let them see the outside of the church.
Okay, we'll walk around real quick then. And are you? Do y'all have any questions about anything, or is there anything you wanted to see while we're inside? Beautiful stained glass windows. And keep in mind, all of that like that, that was made in a time where they cut those and leaded those by hand. And it's most of these buildings were built by hand by master craftsmen, and it's just the details that they would put into things, and it just takes your breath when you see how the great job that they did on things. And I'm certainly grateful to the church here that they do this right here. That's absolutely a labor of love. And going to try to get all fixed up here. We're going to walk outside into the. It is an unreal windy day, but we'll let you see the outside of the church and just how beautiful that is. Go ahead, sweetheart. baby. Come on. And you can see, can you still hear me okay, even though it's windy?
I'm not sure there's anybody on there still.
Huh?
I'm not sure there's anybody on there still. There's the horse and carriage you can take.
We're just going to give you a shot of the church from the front, where you can see this from down there on the Riverwalk. If you look down State Street here, you can see the Riverwalk, the fence there, and there's the Mississippi River right there. And it's just gorgeous, and just thinking of the fact that live oak right there.
Nature Dog Ram says, "Oh, very pretty," and yes,
that tree right there, that tree is several hundred years old, and it saw all these major events of our nation. Natchez has been settled since the late 1600s. That's how long it's been here. And we're going to try to walk. Let's see, this might be a great perspective right there. And you can see the spire of the church, the steeple, from the river. And it's easy to find. And we
can take a carriage ride.
Yeah, you absolutely. Yep. Go ahead, baby. That's something that's fun to do. They do a great job telling you about the city, and but it's like I say, they've done a fantastic job here. Yeah, we're gonna let Cornhole go there, but as you can see, if Chas will pan to the right here, you look down and you see that the homes are still here. There's so much of the old city that's left, and you're able to really.
And I love carriage rides.
Well, there you go. Then and this one, those they do a good job. They really do, and that you get to go down through some neighborhoods of the older homes, and it's just fantastic. It's fantastic. If you want to stay with us, we'll walk right here to the river. If you want to see the river, we'll show you that, and I'm gonna let Chas get ahead of me, because I know that everybody doesn't want to see me. She's the pretty one. I'm just here. But we, like I say, we love coming down here, and the best thing I think to do is just find a spot to park, or a great place to stay is the Grand Hotel. It's the original
bed and breakfast. We've stayed in several bed and breakfasts.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of them here. Do what now?
So we've stayed in several bed and breakfasts
Here in Natchez?
Yeah, or we've stayed in several bed and breakfasts.
Oh, I thought it was a question off of there.
Said, sure, we are about to get snow here.
Well, it's about 80 degrees here. I mean, the wind's blowing about 300 miles an hour sometimes, but it's you definitely have a break from the snow. Now, I'm going to show you. There's the courthouse right there. And in the southern states, I can tell you about Mississippi specifically, all the old courthouses face south.
Probably hear the wind.
What now?
They can probably hear the wind.
Yeah. Is the wind tearing us up too much on audio? But there's the guest house. That's a great spot. There's a bed and breakfast to stay. Um, there's a lot of them here. Um, if you want a bed and breakfast type experience, the like I say, the Grand Hotel. It's a nice hotel that's not too pricey, and it's a lot of enjoyment. Um, Now I'll tell you something about brick on that building. Let's step over to the